Hello, welcome back. It's a midweek special from us.
Surprise!
You lucky people. So this is, and we are super excited about this. This is our first video as part of the Vanners collaboration. It's very exciting to be welcomed into the gang, isn't it?
Hello to our fellow collaborators. I'm sure there'll be logos somewhere on the screen of all the other collaborators, and there'll be a playlist and details in the description, so do check out their answers to this month's topic of conversation.
So we are talking about the things that are essential when you're packing to go away.
Ooh. So packing is a military operation for you, isn't it?
Yes it is. It's also part of I love packing. I like thinking about planning because
I love you packing too.
Thank you, darling. But I enjoy thinking about packing because it means if I'm thinking about packing, I'm thinking about going away on holiday in Teddy with you.
Yeah.
And I get quite excited about that. Sorry, not sorry.
And we're quite new to the whole van life experience.
Yes.
We've only had Teddy for just over about 6 months now, and we've only been on one long tour, haven't we? Our trip to the Outer Hebrides.
So whenever we go away, before we had Teddy, I have a packing list. So literally a Word document that I can go through and tick things off. So I've had that for donkeys. I've used it for when we were packing suitcases and getting in a plane and going somewhere. So I looked at it and I just rejigged it slightly to be Teddy centred. So I have a packing list and I print this off probably on the Monday before we go away over a weekend. And I just go through it and I cross off the things that aren't relevant. And then I know the things that need ticking off. So I've got one of these. So I just find this really useful. I like that idea of just thinking about what needs taking, what doesn't need taking. What do I need to do? Silly things like, have I asked the neighbours to pick up any Amazon deliveries that may turn up while we're away? Have I set up all the security lights around the house and things like that? I find this really useful and it just helps me make sure that I've got everything we need. And I love getting excited about a trip.
Am I on the list?
No.
Ah. So if we look in the back of our van, we've got the usual things, but we're not going to include the obvious things like the chocks, hookup cables, hoses. But we thought it'd be more interesting to focus on the less obvious things that we take. So what's number one?
I am in charge. Ladies, how many of you are also this person? I am in charge.
It would be a very short list if I was in charge of packing.
True point. I'm in charge of packing clothing. Otherwise, frankly, you would go away in the clothing you'll stand up in and nothing else. So one of the things, just because of space, I love a packing cube. So we've got lots of these packing cubes and they're really great ways of just zipping everything up nice and tight, and you know what's where, and then they can pop away in the cupboards. And we'll have one for t-shirts, we have one for undies, trousers, wet weather gear, jumpers, all that kind of stuff. And they are brilliant, really cheap. We got ours off Amazon, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We bought them long before we had Teddy. We actually bought them when we went away to New Zealand, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We did. Have you seen their videos? They're very good. Packing cubes, absolute essential.
Packing cubes.
Packing cubes, tick. What's number 2, darling?
Number 2 is a Poshcats Camping mug. Actually, it's not, no. But the reason for that is this is what's actually a recommendation from Trev and Sue when we met up with them, and it proved very handy. Because when you're away in your van, things go wrong. And so number 2 is gaffer tape and super glue.
Have we had to use them, darling?
Yes, we have. So on our tour of the Outer Hebrides, the roads were quite bumpy. And about halfway through those bumpy roads, managed to dislodge one of the drawers in the kitchen. It shot out whilst we were driving and jettisoned the cutlery and everything in it all over the floor. But it also managed to break one of the little clips that hold it on the rails. And after some head scratching and trying to think of really clever ways to fix it, as usual, 9 times out of 10, gaffer tape is the way forward. I think we've probably got 2 fixes with gaffer tape in the van at the moment. And the gaffer tape is probably holding it stronger than the screws that were there in the first place. So definitely don't leave home without your gaffer tape and without your super glue.
Thank you, Poshcats.
What's in at number 3, pop pickers?
I didn't know I was Fluff Freeman, but okay. I am a bit of a fusspot. We have a new camper van. It's very beautiful. I'd like it to stay that way. Thank you very much indeed. And I'm really anxious about traipsing mud and sand and wetness into the van, and I don't want to do that. So I had a little think and I was like, how can I make sure that wet shoes are not going to make things messy and things like that? Not looking at anyone in particular.
No, luckily I'm very tidy, not clumsy at all. Yeah.
So I bought. We don't have a puppy.
You got the next best thing.
Good boy. So I buy puppy pads. And they are super useful. Let me get one out. Excuse me for the rustling. Ta-da! They're quite cheap. Get them from the supermarket. Packs of 30. They're super absorbent, but they're also waterproof on the back. And I pop those down in the when you step into the van, just as a way of when we're stepping into after having a wet walk. Yeah. We've got somewhere to leave our shoes and things like that. We're not making a mess. So I always make sure we've got a packet of these. They're super cheap. They're really handy. I get them from the supermarket. I think you can get them online. But these are one of the things I do to make sure that Teddy stays beautiful.
Because we do like to go to places where rain is not uncommon.
Have you been to Scotland?
Yeah.
It rains.
But no, they're really useful.
Yep.
Definitely keeps the area by the door clean.
Yeah. Number 4 on your list, my love.
Yes. Entertainment. We always bring a selection of games.
So here's our cupboard of all sorts. First aid kit, citronella candles, all sorts of stuff.
But the important...
Here we go. So we've got Mastermind, we've got the Word version. We've got Travel Scrabble, Bananagrams, but possibly our favourite. Our neighbours put us onto this, didn't they, darling?
Yes.
Rummy Cup. Are you a Rummy Cup fan? So far, Neil's winning.
I was going to say, tell the ladies and gentlemen who always wins at Rummy Cup.
Yeah, it's normally Neil. But I love him anyway. So, do you take games with you? Are there games that you think we should be packing with us? Are there especially things that are small and neat and tidy and can just pop in a cupboard? I love a game. It rains sometimes of an evening.
Number 5. The most important thing in the entire van.
This is the thing I probably think about packing before anything else.
Yeah, before the first aid kit, before we put fuel in the van.
We put fuel in us. 3, 2, 1. We bring wine. And we also make sure we've also got a bottle opener, because you're not on holiday if you haven't got a bottle of wine, have you?
No.
Does this say something about us? Yes, I think it does, doesn't it?
All you need to know.
What's your tipple of choice? We like a nice red.
Primitivo today.
Yes, Primitivo. So that's it. They are our top 5 less usual essential packing items.
Unusual, some might say.
I hope you enjoyed that. What things do you put on your list?
Yes, do let us know. So that was our first collaborators video. Do check out the rest of the collaborators. Links to the playlist and everything in the description. Be very interesting to see what everyone else has come up with, won't it?
Yes, and I'm really grateful that we've been able to join the gang.
Yes, thanks, gang.
Thanks, gang.
But thanks for joining us for this one.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.